Hello students, I am Amrita Kulthe from DS Secondary School, Pune. Today I am going to teach you lesson number 6 statistics. So in the last year you have done in statistics mean, median and number of things. Over here we are going to learn some of the new things which is measures of central tendency. Let's move on to the PPT. So our lesson is statistics. So types of data. Data is a collection of information. Group data. The data is raw data, that is, it's not sorted into categories or classified. Means what? Which data is not sorted in a particular manner. So we call them ungrouped data. And the group data is data that has been bundled together in categories. Means you can see the number of colors over here. So in group data we have set in a particular manner, and ungrouped data, it is not in a proper sequence. So you must have know about the ungrouped data and group data. So what do you mean by ungrouped data? So the data is raw, that is, it's not sorted in categories or classified. So what I did, I have collected the data, weight of 30 students of a school. So you can see over here, there are weight of 30 students, 43, 42, 29, like this. And then what we are going to do it, this we are not considering properly, we are not getting, so how many students have how much. So for that we have to group this data in a particular manner. So whatever the information I am getting from the students, so what we can call them observations. So observation, the responses from the students, and the raw data means whatever the data I have collected, the collected data which is not in systematic order. So now whatever the data I have collected, what we need to do it, we need to make it in a particular manner, mean particular group. So we can call them group data. For organizing such data, the observations are divided into a small group and then the frequency for the each group is recorded. The method is called grouping data. So here we can see ungrouped data table, and then you can see the number of colors blue, yellow, black and red. They are in a particular manner, they are in a proper in one column. So like this we have to make this data in particular groups. So before that we need to know some basic concept of statistics. So first, class. When the observations are divided into suitable groups, each of the groups is called a class. You must have done in 9th standard, there are some things, class limits, class interval and all. But still I have taken some examples over here. Class limit. The end values of the classes are called class limit. For example, suppose I have taken 20 to 30 class limit. In that we have 10 observation. So what we need to do it? So class limit will be 10 because we have to subtract 30 minus 20. So class limit is 10 and the upper class limit is 20. Frequency. The total number of observation into the each class is called the frequency of that class. Means within 20 to 30, number of observation, number of responses we need to consider over here. How many responses I got from the students? Means 20 to 30, suppose we have 21, 25, 26, 28. So all these weight of the students we need to consider between 20 to 30. So I got 5. So what will be the frequency? The 5 students are there between the class limit, that is 20 to 30. Now class widths or class size or class interval. When continuous classes are given, the class interval, how we can find out? So we have some formula over here. Class interval is equal to upper limit minus lower limit. For example, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, these are the classes. How we can find out class interval? Class interval of 20 to 30 is 30 minus 20 is equal to 10. Means what? We are going to subtract upper limit minus lower limit. So that is the 10. So class mark. The average of the lower class limit and the upper class limit of the given class is known as class mark. So here we have considered the class limit is, class is 20 to 30. So we have to find out the average. So 20 plus 30 divided by 2 is equal to 25. So these are the basic concept to make a data in grouped manner. Moving towards, so you must have done frequency distribution table. This frequency distribution table, in this table we can arrange the previous data in particular manner. So what do you mean by frequency? The number of times of the observations occur in particular class. So frequency distribution table, these frequency we need to divide in a suitable groups. So suitable groups means what? We need to check whether the weight between 20 to 30, 30 to 40 or 40 to 50 like this. Now you must have done in 9th standard tally marks. So we need to use that thing over here. So first I have the class is 20 to 30 till 60 to 70. Then I made some tally mark over there. So we have the frequency of tally marks. First is 20 to 30 is 5. So you can see the red circles. We have the 5 observation over here between 20 to 30. Like this, 6 for the next class, 8, 7, 4, and for the last one, it is 4 records are there, or 4 observation or 4 responses over here. So this is what we have distributed the data in particular groups. So we can call here frequency distribution table. So moving towards the central tendency. So measures of central tendency. You must have done in earlier classes what do you mean by central tendency and all. Definitions I have taken over here. If the data collected in a survey of a group is sufficiently large, then it generally shows a peculiar property. The numbers in the data tend to cluster around a certain number. This property is called the central tendency of the data. So where we will use this central tendency concept and all. So if we want to do research, so we need to use the central tendency over there. In real life, mostly number of people are using in research only. The number around which the numbers in the data tend to cluster is called measures of central tendency. So it is supposed that the measures is a representative of the data. Let's see what we have included in central tendency. In your book, they have given, we have the measures of central tendency, mean, median, mode. First one, mean, you must have done in 8th and 9th classes. What they mean by mean and all, and median also, and mode also. But here they have given some formulas to find out these 3 things. The next one is we will learn graphical representation of statistical data, histogram, frequency polygon, and pie diagram. Till now you have done bar graph, then double bar graph like this. But here you have to make it histogram, frequency polygon, and pie diagram. So now we will consider first, we will take first measures of central tendency. So the mean, the average of the collected data, you must know that average of the collected data. Then median, central value of the collected data. Whatever data we have collected, then we need to find out the median between those data. And the mode means the most frequently occurring value in the collected data. So let's see. So let's learn the mean. So how we can find out mean? Till now you have used this formula, that is sum of all the scores upon total number of scores. Finding the average of all observation in given data is known as arithmetic mean. So here we have to use proper formula. Till now what you did, you have just added all the records and divided by total number of records. But now we have to use a formula, that is x bar is equal to summation of xi upon n. So mean is denoted by x bar. Every time when we will finding mean, we have to denote it by x bar only, and it is represents the average of the given data. So let's take one example over here. Find the mean of the following list of values 13, 18 till 13. So we have the 9 records over here. So how we are going to solve it? So like this, we have to use those observation and find out the mean. So they have given the sequence 13, 18, 13, 14, 13, 16, 14, 21 and 13. So we have to use the main formula is there, the basic formula which you are learning from 7th standard. the sum of all the scores, or what we can say observations or the responses, total number of scores or observations. The mean is usually average. How it will be? So we have to add all the record now divided by total number of record. The answer will be 15. That the mean isn't a value from the original list. This is a common result. You should not assume that your mean will be only one of your original numbers. Means whatever the list is given, whatever the values are given, the answer is not from that list. Second example, find the mean of numbers. So it is really very simple. The sum of all scores or observations then upon total number of scores or observation. So what we need to, again we have to add all the records, then divided by total number of records. Here we have 5 records, so we will divide by 5 and the answer will be 26. Now methods to solve the mean. There are some methods to solve this mean. Earlier the method which we have solved, which you have done in 8th and 9th standard. So here there are some new methods. First is direct method, second is assume mean method, third one step deviation method. So first we will solve direct method, the mean and the direct method. So we have to use particular formula over here to find out the direct method. So mean is equal to summation of xi fi upon summation of fi. So what are these things, summation of xi and fi? So first is what? We need to make 4 columns, 4 vertical columns. Then first column will be class interval, second column will be class mark, third column will be frequency, fourth column will be the multiplication of class mark and the frequency. So then we have to add third and fourth column, and then we are going to find out mean. Let's see the example. First, the example is the time which is given in hour and the number of workers, 15 to 19, 10 workers, and the 30 to 34, 8 workers, 35 to 39, 5 workers. So I have taken over here whatever the group they have given, classes are given 15 to 19, 20 to 24, 25 to 29, 30 to 34, 35 to 39, like this. And the second one is what? The second column is blank over here and the third column is frequency. So you need to keep it in your mind. For the direct method, we need to draw 4 columns. And the 2 column, first column will be class mark and the third column will be frequency. So what will be in second column? Let's see. The class mark. Class mark we have done just now. So what we need to do it for class mark, mean of that particular class. Means we need to add 19 plus 15 divided by 2. So like this we got 17, 22, 27, 32, 37. Then third column will be frequency, and then the fourth column which is multiplication of class mark and frequency. So here I have taken 170 because we need to multiply that, and the third one is 27 into 12, 32 into 8, and the 37 into 5. We got these answers, that is 170, 330 till 185. So what will be the summation of fi? That is 50, and the summation of fi xi is 1265. So we have the formula which we know that x is equal to summation of xi fi upon n. So n is what? Let's see over here. N will be summation of fi. So here 1265 upon 50. So the average will be what? 25.3 hours. Let's practice second sum. So here the question is, the following table shows the number of students and the time they utilize daily or their studies. So find the mean time spent by the students for their studies by direct method. So directly they have given over here, we have to use direct method. So definitely we have to make 4 columns. Then we are going to take all these data in particular column. Then we have to find out class mark. That is again I am going to explain you. We have to take class marks, means that particular class average, mean of that particular class. That is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Then the fourth column will be multiplication of xi and fi. Then we will apply formula after adding frequency and the class mark and frequency fi xi. We have to use formula, that is x bar is equal to summation of fi xi upon summation of fi. So here x bar is equal to 218 upon 50. Answer will be 4.36 hours. So this is the average of particular student. Next is the mean, assume mean. Assume mean method. The name suggesting over here, assume mean, means what? We have to assume something over here in those particular data, in those particular columns which we are going to find out. For formula for that, that is d bar is equal to summation of fi di upon summation of fi. So mean x bar is equal to a plus d bar, where a will be what? A will be assumed mean. So here in the previous method we have 4 vertical columns, but over here we have 5 vertical columns. There will be a 5 vertical columns in this method, assuming the class having maximum frequency. So after arranging all the data in a particular group, whatever the data is given, we need to check the highest frequency class. So that will be our assume mean. That class will be assume mean. First column class interval, second class mark xi, then select assume mean. Then third column deviation, di is equal to xi minus a. Fourth column frequency fi and their total summation of fi. Fifth column fi into dy and summation of fi di denoted as d bar and x bar. So the example how to find out assume mean method, they have given daily wages which is in rupees and the frequency of the workers. So again 5 vertical columns over here we need to do it. First will be class, second will be class mark, third will be deviation. We need to find out deviation after assuming the mean, then we will get deviation, frequency, number of workers and the frequency into deviation. So the first column which is class, they have given over here. The class mark, how we can find out class mark? Again there will be, we have to find out the mean of the particular class, and then 300 will be the assumed means because we have maximum frequency. Maximum frequency is what? 15 over here, and then that will be, that class will be our assumed mean, that class mark will be our assumed mean over here. So how we can find out deviation? So di is equal to xi minus a. Xi is what? 220 minus 300. So let's see. This will be our assumed mean. 220 minus 300, it will be minus 80. 260 minus 300, it will be minus 40. Like this, we'll have to apply this formula for deviation, then we will get all the answer. The above 0, all the values will be in negative, and then the below, the other values which will be positive. So you can find out if you are getting the values which is in positive in the above 0, means what? You are getting wrong answer. So what we are going to keep it in your mind, you have to the 0 when we are when you are making difference of deviations and the xi, it should be the positive and negative values. Then the frequency and the deviation, multiplication of those both the things, both the table, and then 400 minus 400, then 0, 480, 640, then summation of fi, summation of fi di. So here I have given the answer to you. You can find out by your own by applying this formula. First we need to find out deviation, then deviation will be 6.4, then we are going to find out mean, that is the formula x bar is equal to a plus d bar. The answer will be 306.40 rupees. So here you must have know about the assume mean method. Let's practice one more example. In the following table, the total paid by drivers and the number of vehicles is shown. Find the mean of the toll by assumed mean method. Direct over here they have given assumed mean method. So tolls which is in rupees and number of vehicles, same 5 vertical columns. All the things we are going to substitute in the particular column. So toll in rupees, that is our class. Frequency, class mark, you know that how to find out class mark. The maximum frequency will be what? 120. So our assuming will be 550. Then we are going to subtract all the class mark from 550. So we can see 200 minus 200 minus 100 and 100 and 200. So here we can see minus 200 and minus 100 and 100 and 200. So next frequency will be 80, 110, 120, 70 and 40. Then we are going to multiply all the deviation and the frequency. We'll get the answer. This will be minus 100 because we are going to subtract 450 minus 550. Next, here are the multiplication of both the columns. First is summation of Fi xi, summation of Fi di. So d bar is equal to 28.57, which will be in minus, and the mean is what? Assume mean plus deviation, that will be the 550 plus minus 28 minus 57. So the answer will be 521.42. So here we can find out the answer, which will be the mean of the various data. So now the next will be the step deviation method. So let's see how we can solve step deviation method. The mean step deviation method. U bar is equal to summation of Fi ui upon summation of Fi. X bar is equal to A plus U bar G. So here we have to take some columns, 6 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns and the 6 columns. So first column class interval, second column will be the class mark, third column will be deviation, and the fourth column the GCD of all the values from the DI. So that is UI is equal to DI upon G. Fifth column frequency Fi, sixth column product of Fi and UI. Let's solve the examples. So before that we need to know the greatest common divisor. The greatest common divisor is also known as GCF, that is greatest common factor, highest common divisor or highest common factor of a set of numbers is the largest positive integer number that divides all the numbers in the set without remainder. It is the biggest multiple of all the numbers in the set. So GCD is often calculated for two numbers when it is used to reduce the fractions to their lowest terms, when the greatest common divisor of two numbers is 1. So here I have taken 24 and 18, then the GCD of the both the values will be 6. So the example I have taken funds, which is in rupees, a frequency distribution of funds collected by 120 workers in a company for the drought affected people are given in the following table. Find the mean of the funds by step deviation method. So directly they have given step deviation method. Class mark, same class mark we need to find out by using mean. DI will be 1000 minus 500, 0, 500 and 1000. So UI is equal to what? DI upon G minus 1 and 1. Number of workers they have given 35, 28, 32 and then the multiplication. So this is the all the records over here. Then we need to add summation of Fi, then summation of Fi UI. The summation of Fi is equal to 120, Fi UI is equal to minus 63. All the values we are going to substitute in the formula. Then we will get U bar is equal to minus 0.525 and the X bar, which is the mean of this data, that will be rupees 987.5 rupees. So the mean is what? Mean of the fund is 987.5 rupees. Let's do one more example. The amount invested in the health insurance by 100 families is given in the following frequency table. Find the mean of investments using step deviation method. So they have given amount invested and the number of families. So again we are going to take same 6 columns over here. Class mark is given. Then the highest frequency will be the assumed mean over here, that we are going to subtract it for the DI, and the UI will be what? The GCD of the DI. GCD will be what? Let's see how to find out GCD. So GCD of DI, you can see over here on the screen, G is equal to 400. GCD minus 1200 minus 800 minus 400 minus 400 and 800, like this. So whatever the values in the DI column, so we need to find out those values GCD, and then we are going to find out UI. So UI will be what? 1200 upon 400. So it will be minus 3. So like this, minus 2, minus 1, 1 and 2. On the screen I have shown how to find out GCD of the DI and the UI of the particular data. Then the frequency is given. Then again FI, UI we need to do it. Summation of FI, DI, multiplication of all both the columns UI and FI. Then we will get the answer, that is minus 15. All these value we are going to substitute in the formula, that is U bar is equal to summation of FI UI upon summation of FI is equal to minus 15 upon 100. The answer will be minus 0.15. Now after this we are going to find out mean. So what it will be? X bar is equal to A plus U bar and G. We are going to add all the values, substitute all the values, and then we will get the answer will be rupees 2140. So till now we have learned step deviation method, assume mean method and mean method, direct method. So the students, what we have learned today, we have learned measures of central tendency. So we have mean, median and mode. So we have find out some 3 methods of mean, that is direct method, assume method and step deviation method. All these methods please do practice at home and find out the answers of whatever the questions they have given in your textbook. Thank you.